Tony Jardine reporting. Now, the Formula 3000 qualifying has produced some excellent news for us here. Gareth Rees from Bath will start from the second row on the grid, his best ever qualifying position in Formula 3000.
More like it indeed. Yeah, fourth place is good. I'm very pleased. The first session this morning we got bad traffic. The car was good, but the traffic was terrible. I didn't get one clear lap. This afternoon I was a bit more fortunate with the traffic. The car was even better. Made a few changes between sessions, and it just came together. So very happy.
But on pole position, Juan Pablo Montoya. The brilliant Colombian's taken pole for every 3,000 round this season. The young German Nick Heidfeld joins him on the front row in his McLaren run car. A very professional operation. There's Norbert Haug of Mercedes taking a very close interest. But there are 6 more British drivers in this race. Let's start with the Redmond Bright team.
We both know this circuit a lot better than any of the others we've been to so far, so I think we should be able to, make moves stick better here than at the other circuits.
Thank you,
Well, my strategy is to overtake a few more than Johnny, because he's a few more in front of me, so yeah, but roughly the same, I would say.
I've always done pretty well here in the past in Formula 3 and whenever I raced here a few years back. We had a good race here last year. We started 11th in the grid and got up to 5th in the wet race, so hopefully for the race it'll be good.
At Imola, we qualified 30th and ended up 14th. We were running in 12th, so if we could do that again, that'd be very pleasing, especially here at Silverstone.
It's going to be tough. The weather's dry. It's not. We've got a full entry in the on the grid, so that could cause some trouble maybe in the race. Maybe a pace car that'll be quite good for me in my situation. But we just need to push as hard as we can go. I think the car will be quite good on the old tyres in the race, and see what happens.
Strategy for the race is keep out of trouble and just keep pushing and push hard every lap. And I hope I finally manage to break my Silverstone jinx.
A huge 35-car grid. Montoya, Heidfeld, Watt and Rees. The front 2 rows, the lights go out, the front 2 rows move as one, and it's Heidfeld attacking Montoya, but Montoya's got the inside line, and a very good start by Gareth Rees. Gareth Rees up into 3rd place as they go into Copse Corner. Montoya the leader, Heidfeld in 2nd place. It is Gareth Rees who's managed to get 3rd place from Jason Watt. Max Wilson is 5th, Gaston Mazzacani is in 6th place as they stream through Maggots, through Beckett's, through Chapel Corner, now onto Hanger Straight, and the long drag down up to about 160 miles an hour, down all the way to Stowe Corner. Watch for the orange car in the middle of the pack. That's Johnny Kane well up. He's made a good clean start, but Montoya leading Heidfeld and the rest of the field down into Stowe Corner. Jamie Davis coming down the inside, and Stefan Sarrazin going even inside him, but Jamie Davis manages to hold that position as they go through Stowe Corner. The leader's already coming into Club Corner at the end of the Vale. Still Montoya from Heidfeld, still Gareth Rees in 3rd place. That's Dino Morelli in the white car in what, 11th place he must be. Johnny Kane, I'm 15th at the moment. Jamie Davis 19th, and the leader's already coming up the hill to Abbey, through the twists of Abbey. Several people trying to go down the inside, 3 abreast. Dino Morelli was attacking there, but the leader's already under the bridge, turning tight right into Bridge Corner and then into Priory. Johnny Kane a glimpse there, 3 abreast they all are, wheel to wheel, 135 miles an hour before they break there. Johnny Kane coming into the tight left-hander. Now it's Luffield, right and right again into Woodcote, the end of a very busy and very hard-working first lap, but Montoya has crossed the start-finish line, 1.1 seconds already clear after 1 lap of Nick Heidfeld. Gareth Rees and Jason Watt very close for 3rd place. And the safety car's out. Something's happened out of our sight. Sohail Ayari coming into the pits, but 2 cars stationary. That's Marcello Battistuzzi and Cyril Sauvage, who are stationary. They've tangled just coming out of Bridge Corner. The safety car has slowed everybody up, the Marcos safety car, as they move Battistuzzi's car and Cyril Sauvage's car. Now the Marcos peels off. The race is on again, and Montoya has Heidfeld much closer to him, but Jason Watt What is attacking Gareth Rees now? They're side by side as the race restarts, going down towards Copse Corner. Montoya, Heidfeld, then again. There's Gareth Rees attacked by Jason Watt, but Gareth Rees has hung on to that third place. Gareth Rees is still third. Jason Watt is fourth. It's still Max Wilson in fifth place, and it'll be interesting to see whether Montoya can re-establish this lead. Still this wonderful battle for third place between Gareth Rees and Jason Watt in those identical yellow-winged David Sears run cars. We've got a yellow flag here. Somebody's gone off. Jason Watt is going into the attack. The spinners, incidentally, Kevin McGarrity and Mark Shaw, both of them Brits. There's a replay. They're both out, but Jason Watt is attacking now as they go down the start-finish straight. Jason Watt out of the slipstream and takes the inside line into Copse Corner. Jason Watt takes third place. Gareth Rees is demoted to fourth, and off goes Christian Horner. Christian Horner missing a front wing. He's tangled with somebody, and Christian Horner walks away, and his race is over. Now, Brian Smith under attack. Brian Smith in 12th place, a huge queue behind him, but Brian Smith, the Argentinian, blocking every effort by Alex Muller to pass him, and the orange car is there too. That's Johnny Kane in 14th position, Alex Muller 13th, Johnny Kane 14th, and a lot of other cars ganging up behind Brian Smith, and Brian Smith's car is quite clearly not very happy. You can see it oversteering in all the corners, hanging the tail out, and the one man who is perfectly happy is Juan Pablo Montoya. Monty says the pit signal. He's 4.4 seconds in the lead already. Brian Smith still under pressure from the queue behind him, and Johnny Kane being attacked there. That's Nick Heidfeld's team. On the right, David Brown of McLaren, who runs that team, but Juan Pablo Montoya has clear road behind him. Montoya crosses the start-finish line once more. There's David Sears. 3 of his blue and yellow cars in the top 4 at the moment, but here's the car in second place, the familiar silver and red and black McLaren colours on that West car. Oh, sideways there goes Dino Morelli. A big moment for Dino Morelli. He captures it all, keeps it all together, but he's lost a place because Bruno Junqueira went past him. And a problem, we think, for Nick Heidfeld. Apparently Nick Heidfeld is losing his head restraint. The collar that goes round the cockpit is coming loose. We're back with this battle for 12th place. Alex Muller, Brian Smith, Johnny Kane, the orange car, still there. Boris de Richebourg in the other David Sears car, and Dominic Schweger, all close. And that's the headrest. It's come off the second place car of Nick Heidfeld. It's lying in the middle of the road. It's lying in the middle of the road, and there's the traffic all weaving, trying to avoid him. That big 12th place battle goes through. Jamie Davis was right there in the thick of it in 18th place, and here is a replay of Nick Heidfeld losing bits of his head restraint as out of the race goes Fabrizio Gollin, the Italian. He's in the pits and out of the race. Juan Pablo Montoya out on his own. There he is. In second place, Nick Heidfeld, having to drive without a head restraint. Here are 2 Portuguese, Andrea Couto and Rui Aguas, arguing over the same piece of road, and it's Couto who comes off second best. Couto out and Aguas carries on, but we wonder about Heidfeld having to drive on this circuit that generates considerable G-forces, about 4 lateral G here, and he's got no head restraint. There's his teammate, Nicolas Benassian, and Gonzalo Rodriguez having a battle over 7th place. Kurt Mollikens is there too, and Johnny Kane spun. Johnny Kane has spun going into Club Corner, cars pouring by. He'll be so annoyed about that. He gets the car pointing in the right direction. He's kept the engine running, and he's back in the race, but Johnny Kane must have lost 10 or a dozen places. We see again he put a wheel on the grass just ahead of Boris de Richebourg, spun the car, and fortunately everybody else avoided him. He's back in the race, but he's lost an awful lot of space. Here's Nicolas Benassian still trying to hold on to that 7th place, locking a wheel there as he comes through the sweeps at Abbey under real pressure, not only from Rodriguez, but also from this man in 9th place. That's Kurt Mollikens, the Belgian, who's currently the championship leader because he's had a very consistent run in the first 3 races, but he's out of the points at the moment. In the pits now, Stefan Sarrazin, the Oschersleben winner, the first round of the season, won by him. He's come in for tyres, which is a surprise. He's well done. Gareth Rees in 4th place, but Max Wilson in the yellow car number 5 is in 5th place, and Max Wilson attacking Gareth Rees, starting to put a bit of pressure on him. Ahead of Rees, the identically coloured car in 3rd place, number 3, is, of course, Jason Watt. But there's Gareth having the best run he's had so far this season. A spin there. A spin for Oliver Martini, the Italian. He's spun to a halt, but still this battle going on for 4th place. Gareth Rees holding off Max Wilson. I was about to say it's been a very difficult year for Gareth so far this year, but things going better for him at last. Gonzalo Rodriguez slowing there, his engine not sounding a bit healthy, and Fabrice Wallfish in the gravel. Now, I gather it was Wallfish who put paid to Christian Horner's race earlier on, so he's had his comeuppance. Fabrice Wallfish in the gravel, out of the race. Montoya well on his way in a comfortable lead. Juan Pablo Montoya right out in front. Olivier Martini's car being pushed, wheeled out of the way to a safer place, we hope. But Juan Pablo Montoya heading smoothly for what will be his 2nd consecutive win, if nothing interrupts his progress between now and the checkered flag. Montoya had a very rocky start to this championship this year, a championship which he was expected to dominate. He's had all 4 pole positions for the 4 rounds we've had so far, but had problems in the first 2 races, won the 3rd, and he's just 150 yards away from the checkered flag and what is going to be victory in the 4th for Juan Pablo Montoya. He comes onto the start-finish straight, the checkered flag is waiting, and Juan Pablo Montoya scores a magnificent victory here at Silverstone, is cheered home by the Supernova team, does a little jig of victory in the cockpit. And we wait for Nick Heidfeld, who will come home in 2nd place. There is Heidfeld, a distant 2nd for him. And 3rd place to Jason Watt, 4th place to Gareth Rees. Gareth Rees holds on to that excellent 4th place ahead of Max Wilson and Gaston Maxacani. But Juan Pablo Montoya has now clearly refound his form. What do the others have to do to beat him?
Quite a season for you so far.
Well, it got better in the last 2 races. The first 2 were not very good. Now it's getting much better. We can keep it that way.
4 pole positions and 2 wins. You seem to be ahead of everyone else in every sense.
Well, so far it's going well. You know, you have to keep working to keep it in front. Oh, it's okay.
As for the Brits, Gareth Rees may have lost 3rd to Jason Watt, but after so much bad luck, he's delighted with his 4th place.
I thought for the first 10 laps I was going to be able to hold on to the 3rd. I was quite comfortable. But as the race wore on, the traction became more and more a problem out of the last corner, and Jason was quicker than me there. And then he got me into the first corner because of that. So that was a shame to lose a podium position, but at least I'm off the mark now.
Again, we struggled with the car. No balance at all, no grip. Problems everywhere on the circuit, sliding, locking wheels. It's just basically no grip in the car. I don't really know what the answer is. I mean, the engineers have got to have a serious think about what's going on, try and find a solution before Monaco. I mean, you know, time's running out and it needs to be found now.
Very frustrating. You know, the promise keeps showing to be there, but we haven't managed to capitalise on it yet. So I'll be glad to put Silverstone behind me for this year, I think.
It was okay at the start, but basically we had the car set up too much for to be a bit oversteery at the start, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I was able to live with him for the first 10 laps or so, but after that it was just too much of a handful through the quick stuff, and 10th was about the best I could have done today, really.
In the championship table, Montoya now leads by 5 points from Heidfeld and Watt. 2 straight Montoya wins. After Juan Pablo, the happiest man at Silverstone now is his team boss, David Sears.
I think he's looking absolutely superb. I mean, I think at the current rate of progress, he could possibly win the championship early. And who knows, maybe he could even make his Grand Prix debut before the end of the season.
So that's it for this week, but join us next time when we'll have action from the GTs at Hockenheim and what could well be the highlight of the Formula 3000 calendar as they race around that famous old street circuit in Monaco.
How many special people change? How many lives are living strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova.
Pace might be a little less hectic next this afternoon, but only just. Stand by to hail some laughs in Carry On Cabby.